WMC Memphis, WMFS HD2 Bartlett Memphis, ESPN 790 AM with Colin Coward and The Herd, weekday mornings from 9 a.m. till noon.
Watch the sunrise, new day's dawning, and it's calling you and me. Where the mighty Mississippi flows by Memphis, Tennessee. We've got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there is no better way. You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Make some time, take a family, ask a friend, but don't delay. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. And as I mentioned earlier, we were trying to hook up with Brandon Sears about a special event that's coming up tomorrow, May the 17th. And this is the Weekend for Warriors, and it's going to be up at Lake Barkley and Kentucky Lake. We actually got so many things going on between now and also we've got Johnny McFarland has slipped in with us this morning, if you can call it slipping in on a crutch, to talk about a big youth event that's coming up for the WIHEC, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But let's get Brandon in right now. Good morning, Brandon.
Hey, good morning, Larry. How you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing great on this May the 16th. So tell us what's happening tomorrow, May the 17th, up there your way.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow, May the 17th, up here in Clarksville, Tennessee, we'll be having our first Weekend for Warriors event for the 2015 year. Taking looks to be up to 10 soldiers out from Fort Campbell out fishing on Lake Barkley, myself and my volunteer boaters. That's
great. And these guys, are they at Fort Campbell, the 10 soldiers? Tell our listeners a little bit about who will be there.
Yes, sir. There are 10 soldiers that are assigned to the Warrior Transition Unit, or WTU. They're ones that have been either wounded in combat or ones going through a little bit, some PTSD and trying to get back on their feet. And so we just volunteer our time and services to take these great Americans out for a day on the water.
It's a wonderful thing, and I know you. How many do you have scheduled for this year, Brandon?
We have 7 events scheduled for this year.
Wow, yeah, 7 events, and it's based right out of Fort Campbell with the Clarksville area, the Kentucky area there, where these guys or gals, whatever it might be, it's just an opportunity, as Brandon says, to be able to come back and give these guys and gals an experience out there. And so tell our listeners a little bit about how this was set up, Brandon, and how if folks want to help you guys.
Yes, sir. I first came up with this idea 3 years ago, a little over 3.5 years ago, where I driving with my wife and kids and decided we wanted to do something for our local soldiers and eventually the national level. With that, I found that also being an active duty soldier that, fishing is a good outlet.
Yes.
I can go on the water, I can relax, I can have fun.
And you know a little about fishing, don't you?
Yeah, I know a little bit. Every now and then I get a little lucky, I guess.
Yeah, tell them what your background is.
So right now, still obviously active duty Army. I'm a helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
But other than that, I fish about every other day I can get on the water.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends, fish local tournaments, BFLs, BASS events.
Yeah, so you love
opens,
fishing.
that kind of stuff.
You
Yes,
love
sir.
fishing. It's hard to fish from a helicopter, you know. I
It
mean,
is, but it helps out looking to lily pads.
oh yeah, it does do that and everything. But you and your wife were driving around. You came up with this idea, and I know it's got to be a heart tugger for you to be able to participate in this.
It is. It's very, very rewarding. Over the last 3 years, we've taken out over 150 soldiers.
That's great.
From the Fort Campbell area, and so with that, with every soldier we take out, a lot of them is their first time fishing. Maybe they've been fishing, before, but seeing them get on the water and have fun and smile and bond with the boaters, and at the end of the day, thank us for what we did, and them realize that, hey, fishing is a good outlet for me to do. To rebond with my children or my wife or husband, whoever it might be, or by myself. I'm having a rough day at work. I can, grab my rod and reel that, I got from Weekends for Warriors and my baits and head on down to the lake and do a little fishing.
This is not a competitive event, folks. This is a compassionate event, I like to call it, because they're not out there trying to outbeat each other. They're just out there to have a good time, right?
Yeah, it is. We usually launch about 6:30 in the morning once all the tournament traffic kind of heads on out.
Yeah.
And then we come back in around 1 o'clock, where we have lunch. Take pictures of the fish, just kind of bond, talk. Raffle off some stuff or give them some extra hats and T-shirts, some stickers, and extra stuff we have donated through our sponsors.
Well, I know. Tell our listeners, I've got Frank Barton has called up your Facebook page, and which is wonderful. Over 2,000 people like this. I know it's one of my likes. Tell our people how they can help you and how they can support these other events that's coming up this year.
The best way, there's two different ways to let us know that you want to be either volunteer or a sponsor, help donate. One is through the actual website. It's weekendsforwarriors.org.
Yes. Or
through the Weekends for Warriors Facebook page. You can contact us. On the website, there's a thing for, like if you want to volunteer or send an email or sign up to be a sponsor or donations, and that takes you right to the PayPal link.
Well, it's
on the Facebook page, you send us a message. I'm really pretty good about getting people back as far as messages, and just send us a date, that works out good for you based off the events calendar. And we can get you plugged in to be a volunteer boater.
Well, Brandon, thank you for being on with us this morning. And, folks, again, a worthy cause. I've got that posted on lroutdoors.com, my webpage, and I hope nothing but success, and we'll stay in touch. Okay, buddy?
Well, thank you so very much, Larry. Really appreciate it.
All right, talk to you later. Have a great one tomorrow, all right?
All right, we definitely will. I'll catch some big ones.
Catch a big one for me. Thank you, Brandon. All right.
Will do, thanks.
Brandon Sears, and that's weekendsforwarriors.com. And, I like to throw those things in there. And another worthy event's coming up. June the 6th, Free Fishing Day. Free Fishing Day in Tennessee. It's also the Mid-South Junior Fishing Rodeo, TWRA Mid-South Junior Fishing Rodeo. And right after that, on June the 13th, is another one of our favorite events right here. And we got Johnny McFarland is hobbling in here. The man has been how many weeks on that?
12 weeks now.
12 weeks. He'll never forget that ice storm that we had back then. And we don't want to do it again. But
for a long time.
For a long time. But he is with the Mid-South chapter of Quail Forever. And has a big event coming up on June the 13th, and I know that Gene Smith is always involved in that. So what's going to happen on June the 13th?
Larry, it's the Youth Hunter Education Challenge.
The YHEC.
The YHEC. It's an NRA program. The NRA refers to it as their graduate course in hunter education.
Yeah.
And nationally, over 10,000 kids a year participate in the program.
Well, I didn't realize that. Yeah.
This is about, I think, our 5th year of hosting the event in Oakland, Tennessee. We've been running 40 to 50 kids each year.
Wow.
And they participate in rifle, archery, shotgun. Gene comes out and helps them with wildlife identification.
Not tomahawk check. He didn't
We don't teach them how to do tomahawks yet.
He said he was working on a tomahawk catching thing.
Yeah, he is working on that, I believe.
Yeah, it's really part of it. Frank's shaking his head here. All right.
And, of course, the NRA Foundation and the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency help us put this on.
Kids 8, what's with 8?
9 to 18.
9 to 18. Okay.
And it's a competitive event for the kids that compete. We do give prizes. We do recognize the winners. But we have kids out there every year who have never shot a rifle, who've never shot a shotgun, who've never shot a bow, and for them it's a learning event.
Well, it's also a fun day too. I mean, because you guys put a lot. I know you eat.
We feed them a big lunch at the end of the day when we do the awards, and of course, I tell everybody there is no cost for the kids to participate.
But you have a limit, don't you?
We're going to limit it to 40 kids this year.
That's your magic word, Larry.
What? Free. That's my magic word. Or food too. I like food. I like free food myself and everything. But and the location. I know that the location out there at the beautiful Anderson Farms in Oakland, Tennessee, where Ronnie Downs is your venue
Ronnie
host.
Downs is our host and makes that farm available to us for the day out there, and it's absolutely beautiful.
It is, and these kids will come out there and, like you said, they don't have to have experience.
They do not. They don't need any equipment. They don't need any experience. We'll even have bug spray for them.
Really? Okay. Well, Gene Smith will supply that. He knows a few bugs. He's got a few bugs to work out and everything like that. But you have volunteers.
We can always use more. We have the Mid-South Quail Forever chapter furnishes volunteers, the Fayette County Friends of the NRA, but we also have Avery Outdoor Superstore and Sportsman's Warehouse in South Haven, and hopefully some more folks will be on board with us this year.
Well, I'm going to try to help you out as much as I can. I know John Gordon at Avery is going to be on the show here pretty soon, talking about a lot of good things going on at Avery. With him, but Johnny McFarland. You can go to Mid-South Quail Forever.
That's where they need to register, midsouthquailforever.org, and they have to pre-register.
And so when do you, this ought to fill up. I mean.
If we don't fill up, I'm sure I'll be on the show a week or so before to tell you we've still got spaces, but last year we ran out of food, we ran out of water. We should have turned some kids away, but we took them all, and we managed.
You did. You managed. So you volunteers out there, and the experience that you're going to have is a day in the outdoors.
A day in the outdoors and helping a bunch of kids learn to appreciate the outdoors and the outdoor sports we enjoy.
And, Johnny, we want to let them know that August the 22nd, you got your
We got our fundraiser. It's a Sporting Clays fundraiser. And we'll be selling entries to that. We'll be signing people up for that on June 13th as well.
That's just hard to believe that it's that time again. And it's always the weekend. It's the Saturday after the fishing rodeo is the way I usually remembered it. And Father's Day and somewhere in that area.
Yes, so it's bounced around a couple of different weekends in there, but it's usually the first half of June.
Okay. Well, that'll be on June the 13th at the Anderson Farms. Go to Mid-South Quail Forever. Or you can call Mary Sue McFarland.
My sister.
Yes. And I don't guess you mind giving that number out. 901-734-2745. All this is on lroutdoors.com. So you can check that out. Why heck, I love that name. Friends of the NRA, and that stands for Youth Hunter Education Challenge. All right. Thank you, Johnny, for hobbling by here, buddy.
Thank you, Larry.
You only have one crutch right now. Next time we see you,
I'm going to be walking without a crutch.
No crutch. All right. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll be right back on ESPN 790.